We all know Kopa as a Simba's another son who is the firstborn, and Kion as the youngest son of Simba and Nala in the Lion Guard. We meet Kopa in The Lion King, Book 6 New Adventure. But wait, we somehow didn't see him in the movie and series Lion Guard. Kopa would be the greatest lion who changed the entire Lion King's story. There are many theories going around about what has happened to him because Disney refused to show him in the film adaptation. Possibly he was attacked by Zira. But what happened if he survived this attack? While he traveled, Kopa, after surviving, might be very injured by Zira's attack and do a long way and discontinue it at the Tree of Life. His goal could be to find healing. But wait, Kion with Lion Guards also went to the Tree of Life to find healing. So what if Kion meets Kopa at the Tree of Life? Lion Guard and the Pridelanders were united together. Then they attempt to defeat Scar's evil spirit. Simba needs to confront his evil uncle and conquer him again. After this, there would finally peace in the Pridelands. Also because Kion had sent Zira and her lions flying away. So they weren't going to be a threat anymore. After everything that Zira had done to Simba's family, especially to his son Kopa, it was finally over and time to live in peace. Therefore, Simba unified all the Pridelanders to fulfill the confrontation together. So they did, and the next they would attack, they all teamed up so that the Lion Guard could get past through the Outlanders to get to the volcano where was Scar's spirit himself. But they didn't realize yet that this was just part of Scar's plan, in which he lures Kion, and a cobra named Ushari unexpectedly attacks Kion, leaving him with a venomous scar like his own. Scar was glad because now Kion must become evil. Kion got angry and was about to use the ancestral roar, but he remembered Mufasa's wise words. You cannot fight the flame by igniting a new flame. Then he decided to this step. He called upon the great lions of the past to punish the spirit of the Scar. With their help, Kion defeats him, extinguishing the flames from his resurrected spirit. But wait, it's still not over. Ushari tried to attack Kion again, but then a member of the Lion Guard, Bunga, intervened, who jumped on Ushari, but they both fall into the volcano. Fortunately, his friend Egret Ono saw this coming and saved Bunga just in time. But Ono's eyes were damaged by the very hot smoke, and from Ushari, Kion also had unpleasant sensations from the poison in his scar. So they went to Rafiki, who probably knew the drugs, but he doesn't have it. He said that if Kion doesn't heal his wound as soon as possible, he, like Scar, will become the embodiment of evil. The Lion Guards decided to take on journey to the Tree of Life. Rafiki shows them the way on the map to the Tree of Life where they can find healing, and he ordered his student Makini to go with them because she had already been there. But there was unexpected that Lion Guards see. When they finally reached the Tree of Life, they stupidly caused a landslide, which attracted a group of completely different lions. They were dark. Unlike the lions in Kion's pride, Kion fought with the leader of their group, the so-called Night Pride, which guards the Tree of Life. Due to the landslide, they considered the Lion Guards as threat and attacked them. But Kion couldn't control himself, and by mistake, he used the roar of the ancestors on the leader of the Night Pride. They see Lion Guards as enemies, so they won't let them enter Tree of Life. But then, one lion intervened, who at least was the only one who was similar like Kion. Then, he approaches Rani. What's wrong, Kopa? Rani asked. Rani, I think you are wrong now, and made some mistake. It's a suspicious group, but I think they're familiar for me. Rani is confused that the intruders suddenly turned out to be familiar for Kopa. He told her that Kion came from PrideLand, where there were exactly the same bright lions as him. In addition, there is a squad called the Lion Guards, which is similar like Night Pride. Kopa realized this when he saw the emblems on Kion. However, he is surprised because usually only lions must be in this squad, and he obviously did not expect to see them outside the Prideland. Next, he asks Rani to give them a chance to prove them that they don't pose any threat. But Rani still has doubts. She decides to ask Jana, the queen of the Night Pride. The queen says they should accept them since Kion is an important guest from Prideland. Kopa was right. The Lion Guard should be allowed to enter. When Rani returns, the Lion Guard has already cleared away the stones blocking the path. Kion apologizes to Rani for accidentally using the ancestral roar. He asks permission to enter the Tree of Life, explaining that he and his friend Ono need treatment. Kopa, smiling, tells Rani that he was right. The Lion Guard didn't come with evil intentions. Rani agrees and welcomes them into the Tree of Life, then leads them to meet Queen Jana. Kopa watches the group with concern, wondering what has happened in Prideland during his absence. The Queen greets them and examines Kion and Ono. She determines that Ono's treatment will take a few days, while Kion will need more time to heal and must undergo special training. Kopa approaches Kion and asks to speak with him privately. As they walk and talk together, Kion remains wary of Kopa. Then Kopa reveals that he too comes from Prideland. This confuses Kion deeply. Why would a lion from his pride be living in a completely different kingdom? Kion is shocked and asked, "Why do you live here?" Kopa replied, "In Prideland, I was playing with my friend, but it was a trap. Suddenly, my friend's mother attacked me, and I was so injured I thought I was going to die. But I survived and was able to stand on my paws. I was very scared because I was wandering and bleeding. I wandered into the territory of the Night Pride, where I was warmly welcomed by Queen Jana, and the Tree of Life helped me heal." "But what was your friend's name?" Kion asked. "After all, my father is Simba, the king of the Prideland. He knows whoever in his territory, and he probably knows your friend." Suddenly, the Kopa stopped and looked at Kion with great shock on his face. "Did you just say that your father is Simba?" Surprised, Kion replied, "Yes. It means your mother is Nala?" Added a Kopa. Kion asks in disbelief. "How did you find out?" Kopa says that Simba and Nala are his parents too. He also adds that the lioness who attacked him was Zira and his friend was Vitani. Kion froze in shock. "Why didn't my father ever tell me about you? Why did he hide it from me?" "Haha, because he didn't want to scare you, little brother. If you found out, you would become obsessed with revenge. Our father wouldn't want it. Surely everyone in the Pride thinks I'm dead," Kopa answered. Kion immediately asks Kopa to return to Prideland with him. Kion also told him about his sister Kiara, about the crushing victory over Scar, and that he had turned Zira to fly. It means that Kopa has nothing to be afraid of, and they both have so much adventures together in the future. Kion's training began. He was taught by Nirmala. They will face long trials and many challenges. Kopa visited him sometimes, and Kion found free time to talk to his older brother Kopa. He usually asked about the family and the situation in the Pride. Kion also spent time with Rani, as he had begun to like her, and the time he spent with her was unforgettable for him. At the same time, Kion was learning more about his roar, as there is a Sicha escarpment next to the Tree of Life, where Askari's spirit lived. As we know, Askari was the first leader of the Lion Guards and also the owner of the Elder's Roar. So it was a great opportunity for Kion to meet with him and find out more about Roar. Kion finally completed his training, but he suddenly felt sad because it meant saying goodbye to Rani, Kopa, and the others. Both of them insisted that Kion stay a little longer. Kopa wants to learn even more about the Pride and spend more time with Kion, in the hunt, in the force, and to teach his younger brother a lot. Later, when the guards were discussing their stay here for longer, an unexpected guest arrived at the Tree of Life, a cheetah named Azad, whom they met during their journey. He arrived not alone, but with Lion Guard's friend Jasiri and Janja, who recently became over their side, two outlanders. Banga got into a fight first, but he forgot that Janja was already not enemy. Jasiri warns about Zira and her evil deeds in the Pride.
"It's Zira. She and her pride of evil lions are back."
However, when the Kopa heard this name, he flew into a rage and asked, "What did Zira do in the Pride?" "How do you know who Zira is?" Jasiri asked in response. Kopa replies that it's a long story and that they all immediately need to go back to Prideland. Jasiri adds that Zira attacked Simba's pride to avenge Scar. Kion understood situation and hurried back to PrideLand to stop Zira. After all, protecting the Pride is the task of the Lion Guards in the first place. Kion said goodbye to Rani and the others of the Night Pride. Kion asked Kopa to join him because he wants his older brother to meet his parents after all this time. But Kopa gets scared because Zira's attacks have left him physically and psychologically trauma. I'm very scared because Zira will be there, Kopa said. Kion replies, you don't have to be afraid, you are a strong, smart and young lion, because even being killed after her attack, you were able to survive. And Zira is an old, stupid lioness. You definitely won't lose to her. Banga adds, how can you call Simba's son and lion of the Night Pride if you're afraid of losing to an old lioness? Their words have given Kopa more confidence and strength, and now he is ready to go with Kion and the others. Lion Guards with Outlanders, Kopa and Azad went back to the Pridelands. Azad leads them on different paths. Kion helps to free the paths with his roar. During their journey, they were joined by other hyenas, friends of Jasiri and Janja, as well as vultures. Kopa is absolutely shocked. Kion, when did you become friends with hyenas? Times have changed, Kion answered. They reach the Pride territory, but come across strange, suspicious lions in the canyon. Kion realizes that it was Vitani and Zira's lionesses. Naturally, their meeting was not positive. Both sides started fighting, Kopa watching as Vitani jumped on Kion and says, is that you? Vitani. How do you know my name? She asked angrily. Kopa was about to reply, but Kion interrupted, shouting at everyone to get behind him as he was about to use the ancestral roar. But before he can use it, they are all interrupted by Kiara and Kovu, who arrived in time. Kion saw her and warned about Kovu behind her. When Kiara explains everything to Kion, Kopa and Vitani look at each other. Vitani finds out that it's Kopa, her long-lost friend. So it's you. I'm glad to see you, but how did you survive? Vitani asked. I'll tell you later. I'm glad to see you too, Kopa answered. Kiara tells everyone to come to Pride Rock. Kovu adds that Zira has completed her circle of life. Kopa meets Kovu and Kiara for the first time, and from what he heard, he could not believe that Zira, who terrified him, was defeated and would no longer bother him and his family. Kion introduces them to Kopa. They say that he is the older brother. Kiara just couldn't believe it because no one had ever told her about the existence of an older brother before. Can we go to Pride Rock? I would really like to see my parents. It's been a long time since I last saw them, Kopa said. Kion says goodbye to Jasiri, and the whole company that Kion brought went to the Pride Rock to meet Simba and Nala. Then Kion meets with his family. Nala is happy to see Kion and asks about who this cheetah is. Kion says that this is Azad, whom they met on the way to the Tree of Life, and he helped them get here. But Simba notices Kopa. He recognizes him and says, Kopa, is that really you? I thought you were dead. Nala started crying, and they hug each other. They both thought their son was dead because Zira had told them that she had killed Kopa. He is also very happy to see them. He starts telling them everything that happened and how he survived. Kiara says with a smile on her face, so you really are my older brother. It's nice to see you for the first time. Meanwhile, Vitani was looking at Kopa and was shocked. Perhaps it was the large pain on her friend that moved Vitani to side with PrideLand during the battle. Kopa was saying these words with tears in his eyes. As usual, I went to play with Vitani and Nuka. We wandered out of Pridelands, but it was a trap. Zira attacked me and beat me to a terrible, leaving me on the border of PrideLand. I was lying on the ground, but Nuka was watching me and looking at me with a evil smile. He suddenly started saying bad things about Simba and tried to beat me up. I ran away because I didn't expect any help from him. Then Zira's attack left a deep imprint on me. I was running blindly, but suddenly I met Azad. Queen Jana greeted me warmly there, and she said that the place could become my home, but on the condition that I become a member of the Night Pride and protect the Tree of Life. Simba and Nala couldn't find the words due to the shock. Vitani came over and started apologizing. "I'm really sorry about what happened." Kopa hugged her and said, "It's nothing, because I always knew that you were completely different, because you are still my friend." Simba interrupts them by asking Kopa, "Since you're here, what are you going to do next? What are your plans? You are my eldest son, which means you have every right to become the next king in the Pride after me." But Kopa at the same time refuses. He says that he is not worthy enough because he was scared and afraid to return to PrideLand. He also says that he has a lot to learn and a lot to catch up on. Next, Kiara and Kovu explain what happened during the absence of the Lion Guards, when the furious battle for PrideLand between the prides of Zira and Simba began, where Zira wanted to take over the lands in the name of the Scar, and Simba, who did not allow the influence of the Scar to flourish. But Kovu and Kiara stopped the battle while everyone was fighting each other. Kiara explained every lion that they need to stop struggle, because everyone have no difference between each other. They all stopped fighting and then accepted peace. But here's Zira, the one who refused to share the pride with Simba. After all, everyone tried to convince her, but it was useless. Zira tried to attack Simba, but Kiara prevented her. But they fall off a cliff where Kiara managed to save, but Zira didn't. As a result, the circle of Zira's life is coming to the end. Then Vitani invites Kopa to join the guards because she is the sister of the future king, and it is her duty to protect the PrideLand. She would like to protect with her longtime friend. Kopa was glad of this offer because it was a happiness for him to become useful to his native home together with Vitani. Kion and Vitani have set up a competition to see whose lion guards will be the best. We see how Vitani and her lionesses got win. After competition, Vitani said that she doesn't need Roar to be leader, like Kion. Since their victory, Kion gives Vitani ancestral Roar in honor of this, as doing so will help him fully master the Roar. As Askari said to him, he says Vitani has proven herself worthy of being the leader of the Lion Guards. Kion's own roar disappears, but then Askari's spirit came in the sky. He says that Kion did the right thing and hands him a eldest's roar with which Kion can now raise an entire pride of rock. He and his team also received the new emblems of the Tree of Life. Askari hints that now they all have a duty to protect the Tree of Life. Then Kion approaches his older brother Kopa and asks, "Are you ready to join Lion Guards?" To which Kopa confidently replies, "Yes." Vitani gives the Kopa a mark. He says that he really wants to make up for lost time, see how Kiara becomes queen, and how to protect order in the PrideLand. Kion said goodbye to everyone, because now he and the guys will have to defend the lands of the Tree of Life with the Night Pride. But before leaving, Kion told Kopa not to be bored, because they would see each other soon when Kion's coronation in the Tree of Life after Kion leaving. Kopa spent all his time with Vitani, as they had a lot things to discuss. He was very proud, as he protects his home with Vitani. he asked a lot about Nuka, Vitani replied that he died during their attack with Zira. One day, they climbed to the top together, admiring the sunset and the Pride Rock. Kopa confessed to Vitani at that moment that he had love feelings for her. They watched the sunset, and Kopa knew that he would have a bright future together with his beloved.